I didn't trust what I knew. Here's the thing, you can't outsource your inner knowing.
You're listening to Say It Anyway, the podcast for people who know they're meant for more and are done holding back. I'm Maggie Marcus, and here we talk courage, self-trust, and what it takes to lead yourself, even when it scares the hell out of you.
All right, I've been talking for like the last 5 minutes and forgot to hit record. So, hey, it's recording now. What's up, guys? Man, I gotta tell you guys, I have been sitting with something lately that's really been bothering me. And it's caused me a lot of regrets and anxiety, and if I'm being real, anger. I was so mad at myself for spending like about $25,000 on something that I didn't even really need or want or use very much. Like it just drove me nuts because like I'm planning a wedding and I've got some other things coming up that I want to invest in, and I'm like, that money could have gone right there. Like, why is that? Why did I do that? Do you guys ever do that? You ever made a decision and you're just like, ugh, because like I think the hardest part for me, it's not even really about the money exactly, although like yeah, that really grinds my gears. Um, it's more like the annoyance of realizing that I actually knew better. Like, I knew better and I didn't honor my own knowing. If you've ever made a decision that like made sense but didn't quite sit right with you and you felt that annoying like ugh, afterwards, then this one's for you. I'm going to take us back to like July 2022. I was working in sales online and I was totally burnt out. I knew that I was working so hard at something that like I didn't even really want to do. So I quit my job and I like needed to reassess what I wanted. And I knew what I'd always wanted to do was public speaking. So I was like, I'm going to pursue that. So I do. And, a few months later, I give my first public talk. It's at the Boys and Girls Club, and I love it, and it goes really well. Um, but I was getting a little worried about like money because I wasn't employed still, and so I get another job, and I kind of just like detour a little bit, and I don't consistently like book speaking gigs. But I do end up in like this personal development program, and it like reignited something in me and it showed me, like again, what I really wanted, which is public speaking. And so it's 20 December 2023 and I'm about to graduate this program. And I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna do this, for real, for real. And I reached out to one of my mentors from the program because he'd done public speaking, and I was like, hey, like, can you give me some guidance, some support? Like, do you know of anyone that could like help me with like writing my speech and like how to book gigs and all that stuff? And he was like, yeah, for sure, I know someone. So he connects me with him, and I get on this call with this guy, and I just felt like really seen. He like got me on a personal level. He tells me that he actually helps coaches leverage public speaking to drive clients into their coaching business. And I'm like, well, I just really want help with public speaking. That's what I want. I just want to do the public speaking, maybe the coaching down the line, but right now I just feel like I just want to do the public speaking. And he's like, gives me a different perspective. And he's like, well, I've done the public speaking thing and you're going to be traveling a lot. And trust me, you're going to get over that. And he's like, and also like, you're going to get up on stage and you're going to make an impact on people. And then what, you're just going to love them and leave them. You want to funnel them into something so that you can continue to support them. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. I was like, unsure because I had tried my hand at building an online business in the past. And I was like, I don't know. But he made some really great points. He made me feel seen. He got me excited. And I was like, all right, hell yeah, let's freaking do this. Let's go. We start working together and we're trying to figure out, my niche, my offer, my messaging, what I want to build the business around. And something's just not feeling right. Like it's just not aligned with me. Like what he's coaching me to do and what I feel, inside, I'm like, this just isn't right for me. And then I'm also thinking maybe it's me, right? Like maybe there's something with me. Maybe, it's a mindset thing, because I would come to him and I'd be like, I don't know if this is the right thing. And, and I even remember telling him, like, I think I should cancel. And he would just coach me out of my fear. And granted, yeah, there was some fear, and he was well intentioned. He was just like, he really believed in me and he thought I was getting in my own way. And so I'm like, okay, that's probably it. It's probably I'm just scared. So what I need to do then is close the back door. I need to go all in, and I just need to get better. I just need to be more committed. And because that's my mindset with things, I'm just like, I'm a hard worker and I'm going to do what it takes. So I'm like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I take out a 5-year loan and I pay the rest of the program off to this guy in one fail swoop. And I'm like, I'm all in. Let's go. And then we continue to work together, and it's still not aligned with me. Like, it's just not working. And I'm getting frustrated. I think he's getting frustrated with me. And so then I go, you know what? Again, maybe it's me. Maybe I just need to build more confidence in my skill set as a coach. So I'm like, listen, I know you're not going to let me cancel this, and I've already paid you all this money. Let me pause it. And let me, I think I just really need to work on my skill set. And he's like, he didn't agree with me, but he said, okay. I end up going into a coaching program to work on my skill set. And I get certified as a practitioner. I end up paying another $10K to do that. And then I'm working with, people, I'm coaching them. And again, something is just not right in me. And I just want to do the public speaking. And I'm like, I feel like I'm just trying to fit a peg into a square hole, or whatever that saying is. And I'm just like, something's not right. This isn't what I want. I'm not happy. I'm not excited. I'm not passionate about this. And when I think about speaking, I am. So something's off. And maybe I'll come back to coaching, but I know that the next best step for me is to do the public speaking, because that is what's on my heart. That is my purpose. And I think that that's what's going to open the doors that I'm meant to walk through. And so, now it's 2026 and I haven't returned to that coaching program I put a pause on. And I've just been thinking a lot more about this lately because of the upcoming expenses they have around the wedding. And also because I'm now on the pathway to public speaking and looking to up level and invest in a program to support me in that. Finally found the one that's actually going to help me with that specifically. And I feel good about it. But I'm reflecting now because it's like, I think about the money that I wasted. And man, I could have allocated that money, that would have paid for the wedding, or it would have covered the investment into this speaking program, which is actually what I want to do. And I've just felt a lot of grief around that. And also for the time that feels like it was wasted, to have spent months in that one program and then another year going through the coaching program, the certification program, where could I have been if I had stayed committed since 2023? Where could I have been if I'd stayed consistent with my goal and what I knew was right for me from 2023? See, some of you aren't stuck because you made the wrong choice. You're stuck because you're still punishing yourself for making it. I'm over here still blood boiling when I look at the loan statement, and mad at myself that I didn't listen to myself and about the time, and asking man, how can I trust myself to invest again when this is what happened the first time or the first couple times, but what I realized is, what I had to overcome wasn't really the program. It was the self-betrayal and knowing that I went against myself, that I overrode myself, and that's the lesson. friggin' the expensive ass lesson, but that's the price that I had to pay to learn whose voice to listen to. Nobody knows me better than me. Nobody knows you better than you. And that, for me, that was the cost of learning how to listen more cleanly to myself. But I wanted it to be easy. I wanted someone else to give me the answers. I didn't trust what I knew. Here's the thing. You can't outsource your inner knowing. Those other programs were based on who I thought I should be. What seemed to make sense based on someone else's perspective on how I should go about my goals and my dream. Even though I knew deep down, like, I wanted to speak. And building a coaching business at the time, that was a should. Oh, that makes sense. I should do that based on the, perspective of someone else and what I kind of had heard online, what I knew sort of at the time. Like, that was based on what I logically made sense, what I should do. But me being a speaker, that was a bone deep pull. That was like, I knew deep down. I knew what was right for me all along. And so the kick in the ass for me is I didn't trust myself. Where do you not trust your own decisions and your own inner pull? What you know is right for you, no matter what anybody else says, no matter how anyone else perceives it. Like, you know what's right for you. And when it comes to the regret, yeah, the money part sucks. It's really more about like betraying my own knowing. And that's the part that really eats at me. And that's the part that I had to really sit with. Like, if you've made a decision that kind of went against what you knew deep down was right for you, then maybe this will resonate. I had to really look at that and go back and have compassion for that version of me that made that decision. Because that girl who made that choice, she was just doing her best to be her best. And she made that decision because she was willing to do whatever it took to achieve her goal. And she was willing to take that chance. And that's the version of me that made the decision. And I can't be mad at her for that. And also looking at, man, like, there were some lessons I got to learn along the way, how to listen to myself, of course, but also, like, I got to sift through what wasn't right for me. And I grew in that time period from 2023 to 2026. I learned what isn't my lane, and what drains me and what really excites me. And I'm really passionate about. And I also learned the difference between this looks right and this is mine. Yeah, I might have got a little confused then, but I'm clear now. And I now know whose voice to listen to and what that voice sounds like. My yes now looks different. Not louder, but steadier. Back then, I didn't fully trust myself. I learned how to, the hard way. I always learn the hard way. And maybe you're in that learning too. It could be the job that you decided to stay in, the relationship you've outgrown, the path you continue to justify, the career you've been afraid to pivot into because it just wasn't practical, it didn't make sense to someone else. I just want you to think about whatever that decision is that you made that maybe went against your inner knowing. Whatever that was, I want you to consider, especially if you've been beating yourself up about it. What if that quote unquote wrong decision wasn't a failure, but part of learning how to listen? Sometimes the price you pay isn't for the thing you choose. It's for learning whose voice matters when you choose, and learning how to trust yourself again. Where are you still trying to be who you're supposed to be instead of who you are? What path keeps calling you even after you tried to silence it? What is in your deeper knowing? What is it that you know deep down is the right decision for you? Even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. What is that for you? This is your life. You're the one living it. It's gotta work for you. And whatever that is, can you harness the courage to really own that truth? And to change directions if you need to walk away from something, to move towards something else, if that is what you know deep down is right for you. No matter what it's already cost you and finances and heartache and in whatever, right? Like, if you know that that is what you want truly, can you have the courage to really choose that? To choose you? Courage is choosing the direction that you hear deep in your soul. When you let yourself listen, you don't have to know for sure where it's taking you. You just got to know that it's yours.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit home, spread the love. Maybe share it with a friend or drop a comment. I'd love to know what landed for you. And remember, your voice matters. Whatever you're holding back, say it anyway.